Alright guys, so some of you seen the video I just put out about the Thunderbird motor being toast. There's part of the video that was completely lost. I have no idea what the hell happened to it. But after work today, I pulled the Thunderbird in. I pulled it in my stall. I went to go check and see why I'm seeing fresh oil coming from the valve covers. Remember, I'm looking for an oil leak on this thing. And I pulled the driver's side valve cover off, and sure as shit, it's an old, corked, dried up valve cover. So I'm like, I see the sludge all over inside the cylinder head. I see the sludge down the push rods. Let me pull a spark plug out. So I pull out a spark plug and I bore scope the cylinder. And as I'm looking inside this cylinder, there's really deep scoring and stuff all the way up and down. It's not crosshatch. It's long, elongated scoring inside this cylinder. And I'm like, you know what? This is not good. Let me continue pulling this motor apart and see what else I'm working with here. Then you see coolant passages partially sludged up and blocked in the back of the intake manifold. EGR passages that are like 30-40% plugged. The more I think about it, the more I get into this motor, the more I'm realizing I actually don't want to run this motor. And it's a perfect candidate for some kind of performance car. I don't want to take, you know, $2,000 or $3,000 to put back into that factory motor to get it right back up to snuff. I've already got $3,900 in the car, plus another $3,000. Then probably close to $4,000 or $5,000 in paint coming up. I'm gonna have $13,000 or $14,000 in that car before it's all said and done, and I'm never going to get my money back out of that car, and it will never be worth that. In any market, it's not going to be worth that. So I'm going to have fun with the car. I'm going to build it. I'm going to make it what I'm thinking about. You know, I don't know if it's some kind of like 351 bored and stroked out, or if I'm going to do some kind of big block car and really let that sucker roll. I got to try to figure out what I'm going to do. But now I need to get it gutted. I need to get everything out of it. I need to get everything completely ripped out of it, stripped down, and I want to actually prep the body and everything for use, to see what I want to do. I'm thinking I'm going to probably try to do something like I don't know, I'd like to put like a 427 or something in it, or maybe a 351 Windsor. I don't know what I want to do. I really don't know what I want to do. Here's the video that I just uploaded after this. Where I'm picking up is after both valve covers are pulled off, and I just realized there's orange silicone inside the valve cover where somebody got silicone all over inside, on top of the push rods, on top of the rocker arms, in the valve springs. I don't know how much of that silicone actually made it down into the motor. It might be in the pickup tube of the pump. I have no idea. But it's just not worth putting that money into this motor. Here's the video. It was about 45 minutes in. Radiator drain, all the hoses off of it. Pulled all the electrical and vacuum off to the side. Just pulled the alternator. Now I'm removing the connections for the alternator. And I'm going to work on getting the AC compressor off and pulleys and stuff for that. Pull the distributor and pull the intake manifold, and then I'll probably call it a day. Just get down to the intake manifold, then tomorrow I'll pull the exhaust manifolds, pull the cylinder heads off of it. Getting a little bit further slowly, little by little by little. Closer and closer and closer.
I've never seen this shit.
Well, can honestly say, at this point, seeing how the heads are going to have to be completely reworked, cleaned out. The block is pretty much all scored up on the inside from running my bore scope through the spark plug. I don't even know at this point that it's worth reusing. I'm honestly thinking that this is going to be a power plant car and it's not going to be a stock car. I had a feeling today when I started to pull all this apart that it wouldn't be worth salvaging the factory stuff, and it honestly is really not. So I've pretty much made up my mind. This car is going to be a let her rip car. It's not going to be a factory car. There's just too much that has to be restored. Too much money is going to have to be put back into it, and it's not worth keeping it the way it is. All this shit's going to go. All this shit's going to go, and it's going to be completely worked up from this point forward. I'm going to strip everything out of the engine bay. All the wiring harness and stuff is going to go. Everything's going to get all sanded down and painted and dressed up. No holes in the fenders and stuff. This probably is just going to be strictly a track car. That's what it's going to go to. It's not going to be anything more than that. It's not worth saving. These don't go for a lot of money. And at this point, it would be wasted money. I'll keep the body. The body's solid, that's for sure. But everything else, it's gone. Gonna get a new motor, new trans. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now.